Hello and welcome to the premiere episode of Farm to Film. We are here. This is me, Derek. Hi. First episode of a brand new adventure. And I'm here with my very good friend, Danielle Dallas Roosa, who is an actor, a filmmaker, very talented, very funny, human, great friend of mine who I've known for many years. And we have a very fun story of how we met and got to work together and became friends.
Mm-hmm.
And Danielle is in my upcoming movie, Snatched. Danielle plays the role of Phoebe. And Phoebe's like, small town girl who,
Working in a lonely world.
Works in a lonely world. And she is
Midnight train.
taking a midnight train to anywhere dangerous and exciting and fun. I don't know.
I was trying to do the song.
I know you were. And
I failed.
You didn't. You did a great job. This is my first time hosting an in-person podcast. Every time I've done podcasts has always been over video call. And so it's a little bit of an adjustment to having a person in the room with me.
I can go.
Yeah, no, let's not do that. Danielle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here with all of you guys. I'm excited. I'm really excited. We just had a very long conversation about the film.
We did.
And it makes me even more excited. And we're shooting in a month?
A little over a month. It's coming up very fast. But yeah, no, I wanted to start this podcast for many reasons. One, I have a lot of wonderful people that are helping me make this film a reality. The thing about filmmaking is, like, if you don't have $1 million or $10 million, it's very hard to do anything. If you don't have a huge studio supporting you, you're doing everything by yourself, with your friends, with your community. And we're really in a time right now in Hollywood where if you're not making stuff on your own, you're probably not working. And we've been here for a long time, and I'm just sort of tired of waiting for someone to give me a job. So here we are, starting our own production company. Ours, as if it's me and you. It's really me and you're supporting me. But yeah, I wanted to sort of like have the chance to talk to some of my friends and introduce you guys to some of the amazing, incredible, talented people that are working with me. It takes a village, as they say. And as someone who grew up on a farm, I feel like I know what it's like to need your community to, come in and support you. And we're trying to make that small town community happen here in Los Angeles. So From Farm to Film is a series of conversations about bringing community together, friendships, and making art together, because it's hard.
It is so hard.
And you've done this, Danielle.
I have done this.
Yeah.
And it's very stressful. And as Derek said, it does take a whole village and then some surrounding villages as well, because it is so difficult in this industry where it's built on who you know, not only who you know, but how much money you have and who it's a whole thing. So I'm a big fan of you creating your own opportunity, because it's truly the only way.
Yeah. So yeah, here we are. First episode of Farm to Film, talking about Snatched, talking with Danielle. And if you haven't already seen the trailer for Snatched, it's a horror comedy movie. It's a little bit like If the Mask was a horror movie, except we have a magical wig instead of a mask, and there's drag queens involved. It's going to be really fun and campy and bloody. And really excited about the cast and everyone we have. But, go check that out. I don't need to repeat all of that stuff. I want to focus on Danielle today and what we have coming up, as it's my birthday week. My birthday is Friday, December 19th. And it's hard having a holiday birthday.
I have July 4th birthday.
Oh my gosh, you get it.
Well, I think Christmas is harder than July 4th. July 4th, that's not like a family holiday.
Yeah.
It's more like, hey, what are we doing on July 4th? Where are we going to watch the fireworks? But a Christmas holiday birthday is a little bit rougher.
It's rare that I get to actually celebrate my birthday on my birthday. I usually have to do it the week before. And even then you're fighting with holiday parties and people traveling and people socially overexhausted from doing all these. They're like, oh, I might be free during that day, but honestly, I'm just too tired and I don't have the social battery to come see you. I'm so sorry. So it is what it is. But I wanted to celebrate my birthday this year with people who are supporting me in this film venture. So I'm going to be doing some virtual coffee meetups and a happy hour, and people can come and ask me questions about the film. And we'll do a little game night in the evening. So if you're listening to this and you haven't donated yet, you can donate and come be a part of my birthday celebration on Friday, December 19th. I would love that, and I would love you forever. But Danielle,
yes.
Give me a little just quick rundown of your background and how you ended up here in Los Angeles.
I always knew I wanted to be an actor since I saw Barney. I was like, I want to not be the dinosaur, but the kids running around the dinosaur, clapping and singing. And I was like, I want to do that.
I think I felt the same thing watching Barney.
I haven't seen it in a very long time, but when I was a kid, that shit slapped.
Yeah, it was a magical adventure.
It was great. They had a tree house. What could be better? So I knew I wanted to be in the entertainment industry, but then my dad was military, so I moved every 2 or 3 years. So there's no chance for us to be able to like integrate into a theater community.
Yeah.
But then I graduated college and I came out to Los Angeles and I lived in a living room.
You lived in a living room,
like on the floor. Yeah.
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 I've been there. I think a lot of artists have been there.
Yeah.
You just have to do what you have to do.
I always say if my brain was further developed, I would have never moved to Los Angeles because I knew nobody. I did not know one person in Los Angeles. I was like, okay, I'm going. And my parents helped me drive out. And my mom was like, I'm leaving you in a living room. And I was like, don't worry, I'm going to be on a network show in 2 weeks.
I know. That's back when like the naivety and the dreams were so big that you really thought you can't fail.
Yeah. And we can't. Look, we're doing this now.
Yeah. It's longevity.
Longevity.
Yeah.
We are cockroaches.
Yeah.
No one can get rid of us.
We're never going to die. People often tell me when I tell them about moving from the farm to the big city, like, oh, that's so brave. That must have been so scary. For me, I didn't see another option.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not brave. I literally did the only thing.
When did you know that you wanted to move out?
I started doing like writing and acting around 12 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I remember counting down the days till I graduated. I was like, okay, 6 more years until I graduated high school, 5 more years until I graduated.
Did you move right after high school?
I graduated high school. Yeah, May 2008, and I moved to New York in August for college. So like 2 months later, I was just so ready to go explore the world, to pursue my dreams. I really believed anything was possible.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like it would have been harder and scarier to figure out what else I would have done if I was not pursuing.
Yeah. I like go back to Arizona, and I'm like, what do these people do?
Yeah, these people listening to us right now. What do you do?
Are you from Tucson, Arizona? Stop listening.
Yeah, no, but I think that there's like a part of me that's very jealous of people who.
I say this all the time.
I'm like, I wish I
yes
just wanted to have a steady job, income, like stability, go to work, come home, hang out with my family. But there's my sense of adventure is too big.
When people tell me, especially around the 30 years mark birthday. I said that really weird.
But the 30 years mark birthday.
The 30 years mark birthday.
Yeah,
and if you don't know,
it's a famous quote.
Yeah, by me.
Yeah.
Literature. A lot of people are like, I'm ready to stop doing this. I want to move and I want to become an interior designer. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, I want to be able to not do this. Like I always say the entertainment industry is like an abusive ex-boyfriend. Sometimes they come around and they're like, hey, how are you? And you're like, oh, they like me. We're back. And then they ghost you for a year. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too, is that I've been in LA almost 14 years. I'm coming up on my 14-year anniversary. I moved here New Year's Eve.
14 is a good number.
Yeah, 14. Well, 13 years is a good number for Taylor Swift. And that's, this year's been questionable. But I do think the hard thing being here so long is every 3, 4, 5 years, sort of like you build this community of friends. You're like, we're all in this together. We're supporting each other. And then people decide, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. They get married, they have kids, lives change. And every 3 to 4 years, your sort of community and your friends looks very different. And that's really hard to navigate because all of a sudden you're like, well, now I guess I'm in this by myself again. And I have to start over. I have to find new people, new community, or like, my best friend just moved to another state. And so now I have to like reevaluate my life again.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. And I grew up moving every 2 to 3 to 4 years. So every 2 to 3 to 4 years, a clock goes off and I'm like, we got to move.
Yeah.
My husband is like, no, we're not going to.
How long have you been in your current place that you're at?
My current place, 3 years.
Okay.
But I've been in LA for 11 years.
Okay. So that's pretty stable. Then,
that is the most that I have lived anywhere in my entire life.
Yeah.
That's like a crazy thing. To be like, I have lived here for 12, 11, I don't know, 2014 to 11 years.
Yeah.
11 years.
It really flies by.
Yeah. And math is hard.
So yeah, LA is magical and fun. And here we are. And you've been here for a while and that's great. And we met A few times through, her husband / my friend, Ryan Turner, who's a director and filmmaker at Echo Bend Pictures, which is a great sort of like little indie up and coming production company that does a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can all work together one day, and I think we will.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, as long as we're alive and continuing to breathe and pursue film, I think that our paths will cross again. But for now, I met you through Ryan a couple times at parties.
Yeah.
And didn't we? I would say we didn't really get a chance to really get to know each other. And then at your engagement party, Ryan had reached out to me and basically was like, "Hey, I'm proposing to Danielle in a movie theater. We have this whole fun little trailer that's going to play before the fake movie, and we just need people to be in the audience that Danielle won't recognize." And so I was someone who was reached out to, because it's like, you're my friend that Danielle doesn't know.
Yeah.
So can you come to the movie, bring some people? I brought like four or five friends. We got some free popcorn and soda, and we just sat and creepily watched and videotaped Danielle reacting to her marriage proposal.
It was the most wild thing in the world, because I walked in expecting, because I knew something was up. Like I knew something was up. So I walked in the movie theater, and I remember I had to pee right before. So I pee, I go to the mirror, and I'm like, okay, let's go get proposed to. And by the way, small detail, we were watching The Whale. The Whale is not a romantic movie. And that's why I was like, this is like, whatever. So we walk in, and there's nobody in there. I was expecting people to be like, surprise.
Nope.
We sit down.
And you were glammed up.
I was glammed up. Are we allowed to cuss on here?
I mean, no. Yes.
We were glammed.
I won't bleep you out.
My friends were like, I walked out, and at the time a friend of mine was living with me. And she was like, "That's what you're wearing to the movie?" Because I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go see a movie." She's like, "You can't wear that." And so I was like, okay. So I was pretty glammed up. And then and also, side note, my friend who's a makeup artist, she gave me this long thing about wanting to do my makeup. Now, this woman, her name is Ashley. She said it was for a tutorial because she's applying for this new job. And so she has to prove that she's certified in this certain technique. I walked in and I was like, okay, BS. And then I don't know why we're talking about my engagement, but here we go.
That's how we met, kind of.
Yeah. And so she literally for an hour and a half is explaining direct to cam all these different techniques. And I was like, I think this might be real. Like, I think this actually might be like, this is real. And so then at the end, you know, the proposal happened.
Yeah, proposal happened. And then time goes by.
Yeah, time goes by.
And I ran into you at another party.
Moses' party.
Our friend Moses, who's also like a producer, industry friend, was having a little backyard. Was it 4th of July? No, just like it was like a Memorial Day, Labor Day type situation. Yeah. And we ran into each other, and Danielle was like, "Oh, and you had a friend who was casting something that you had texted me about. You're like, oh, here, you should submit to this thing. Also, did you submit to the thing I'm doing?
Yeah.
Or are you coming to the call? I don't know how it all went down, but Danielle had started doing, it was a live experience, virtual reality trip to the moon, which, you know, some of you may have seen because I was in this project for like a year posting on social media about this. Come to the moon. You directed that. Yes. And long story short, you cast me in it.
Well, what's crazy is I thought that you submitted.
Yes.
And then I messaged you, and then you were like, I didn't submit.
I didn't. No.
And I was like, okay, well, we're having callbacks. I think you'd be great for it. Can you just come to the callbacks? Because it was a audition tape. And then callbacks were in person. And the reason I did callbacks in person, which goes to why I casted Derek here, is because we first did the show in Dallas. And so I cast everyone based on self tapes. And then we did the callbacks over, you know, EcoCast or whatever.
Yeah.
And there is a certain energy that you have to have when you're doing an immersive experience, because as you know now, and I know, you know, you don't know the kind of people that are going to walk into this experience. And we had such a great time doing this, but it is very energy dependent.
Yeah.
So like I needed all the actors to be in the room so that we could, you know, we could play. And Derek just walks in, he does his read. And then, I just start improv it, or was it Dries? Somebody was improvising with you. And it was great. And I'm like, yep, that's it. And then you were cast, and then it was kind of a crazy experience, and it went on for 11 months.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it was basically like if you've ever done an escape room, It's kind of like that, minus some of the puzzles. It was a little bit more of a story. So you like walk into a room and an actor greets you in character, like you just arrived on the moon, and then you get like briefed and introduced to your like captain, and like these are zany characters. And each room is sort of like, now you go into VR and then you walk on the moon and then you do a little activity, and there's actors sort of like taking you through the storyline. Then you go to this laboratory where this crazy scientist is like losing her mind from like radiation poisoning, and there's like robot, and you're doing these little activities, and there's a puzzle, and you're trying to save the moon. And so it's like an immersive
crazy thing that
virtual reality storyline with actors and improv, and it was really fun. And so that's really how we became besties.
Truly.
And one of our slower days at the office, I had just written this little script called Snatched. And it was pretty early on, and we were like, let's do a table read. And so I sent the script around, and we sat and did a table read, and I had you read for this role. Back in the first iteration. And in my mind, I thought, man, it would be great to actually cast my friend Danielle in this project, because you are so funny and so crazy. And that's what this character needs, is like, I need crazy, I need funny.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, you kind of wrote a great character, and so I'm lucky to be able to do it. You know.
Thank you. You already have the job. You don't have to flatter me, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. I like the script. I'm a fan. But it's so hard to do anything in this town, and like creating that immersive experience. I was going out. We went out to the 3rd Street Promenade and handed out flyers. You know, we were out there shouting from the rooftops. Come buy a ticket. And you know, it's a lot. And I think that that's one of the best things about living in LA, for all the negative things we've said about it. People show up for people that they love. And I'm really excited about this particular film too, because it's a lot of people that I think connect to it. In The Mask, you know, iconic film. Jim Carrey was my idol. He's why I had to get Botox early, because I would like sit in the mirror and like do my eyebrows different. You know how he does the I can't do it anymore because I got Botox, because I got lines on my forehead. Oh.
I got a little dancing eyebrow moment happening, but
I think, and also like the, you know, drag community, there's so many different people that are going to be touched by this film, and I'm excited by it.
Yeah, drag is a big theme in this film, and you know, for us in LA, for, you know, all of our artist friends, and you know, it's very normal to like run into drag queens and go to drag shows, and like where I came from, that's something you don't run into, you don't see. It's kind of a weird, strange thing, you know, and so like I get it when I have, you know, friends and family, people back home that are like, you know, I want to support you. I don't really understand the drag thing, I guess. Because that's sort of how I used to think for many years. I was like, I don't get this drag thing, you know, like why are we doing this?
Really?
Yeah.
I saw my first drag show and I was like, this is it.
You're a better person than me. That's
no,
why.
I think it's just the theatrical musical elements of it. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that like, and maybe it's because I grew up in a more like conservative Christian space where, you know, there are some people that view that as sinful just to simply, you know, like wear different clothes or like as a man to wear a wig. I think there's also like something sexualized about it, you know, with like a lot of dick jokes. Yes, a lot of men wore wigs back in the day.
Signing the Constitution.
Yes, signing constitutions. It was very normal. We have a lot of actors, you know, Mrs. Doubtfire, classic drag performance by a male actor that everyone loves. And so drag has really been around. It's been a part of culture for a long time. But I think there's just, I think, a lot of misconceptions about who these people are who do drag and what it actually is and what it means. And you know, once I started actually like going to some shows and meeting drag queens, it's like, oh wow, this is such an incredibly hard art form. Because you're producing a one man, one woman show. You have to do your own makeup. You have to come up with the character. You have to, you know, be able to walk in heels, which I've never done. I don't know what that's like, but I imagine it's very hard. I hear it's very painful.
Cut to like college version of Danielle and Charlotte Roos heels running down, you know, the UMass Amherst streets. I can't do that anymore. No. COVID happened and my feet were like, no. We're done.
So yeah, I just found the art form to be so impressive, especially when done well. like how exciting to like
Yeah.
see someone singing live, doing jokes, making you laugh, riffing back and forth.
Yeah.
Also, you know, like putting together an outfit, sewing it yourself, coming up with some sort of makeup look.
The
The glam, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
And so you know, I've been writing for a long time, trying to figure out like what's my next project. And I wanted to do something with drag. And this idea had sort of come to life in my mind. There's one very specific scene that I pictured in my head that happens at the end of the film, which I can't really talk about yet because it's kind of a big moment. It's a big spoiler for the movie. But there was a specific vision I had in my head, and I sort of started to work backwards from there. And that's where this whole thing kind of came to life. And I was like, oh yeah, it is kind of like The Mask.
Yeah.
But I've always loved horror, but I love horror with comedy. So yeah, here we are. This fun, magical drag queen story. And it's violent, and it sort of, yeah, the message of the movie really is like you should get to be whoever you are, and you shouldn't be punished for being different. And
if you are punished, then you will be haunted.
if you are punished, then justice shall be served, and it shall be served glamorously.
Yeah. Looking fabulous. Yeah.
So yeah, that's just like a little bit of the origin and our origin.
Yeah.
And you're also the reason that I met Cameron, who plays our lead, Jimmy. Cameron Cowperthwaite. He is a great actor who's done some really cool stuff. We're very excited to work with him. You have a scene with him.
Yes, I do.
Have you ever acted with him before?
No. So he's good friends with my husband.
Yeah.
And they met at TIFF, I think.
Okay.
And then I've just met him over the course of, you know, hanging out with him and Ryan, and love him. Great guy. That whole friend group, big fan. So I'm excited about that. No, it'll be the first time.
Yeah. Your husband has a lot of great friends. Everyone I've met through him is just good people, good vibes.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. So yeah, Cameron had come through the VR experience when, you know, we were on the moon. And yeah, I just, after seeing him, I've like put him on my list of potential actors for this script, because this was probably a year ago.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
You know, so I was still sort of like in the writing, rewriting phases, but also starting to make a list of like who would be like my dream A-list actor if I could cast anybody. And I was like, oh, maybe like Bill Skarsgård would be great.
Yeah.
Or
Bill.
Yeah. But we're not getting Bill Skarsgård. But then I met Cameron. I was like, oh, he kind of gives a little Bill Skarsgård vibes. And
Cameron has like a really cool, because before I even knew Cameron, I saw him in what is the show called with Elle Purnell?
The show with I don't know.
Oh gosh, it's the post-apocalyptic. Doesn't matter.
Oh, you like Fallout?
Yeah, Fallout.
Yeah. He's in Fallout. If you've seen Fallout, he's great.
And it was just a quick scene, but the way in which he did it, I think we're okay, we're good.
We froze for a second.
Yeah,
we're good.
We're back.
Yeah.
But he had such a cool, I mean, he had very few lines, and he had a big role, but like I was like, this guy knows what's up. Like there's
he really popped on screen.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He has these like very intense looks.
Yeah.
And he was also in Monster.
Yeah.
Netflix show with Ryan Murphy about the Jeffrey Dahmer story. And he was great in that too.
He was, yeah.
Different character, more like surfer vibe, a little more innocent.
This character, after I just reread it this morning, and knowing now that Cameron is in the role, reading it, I was like, oh hell yeah, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, we're very excited. So yeah, that is a little bit of our history, our background. And Danielle, do you have anything else going on right now that you're either excited about, or are you just trying to enjoy the holidays?
Well, I just finished draft 3 of my space comedy movie. It's a feature, and I just got notes on that. So hopefully by the end of the year, I will have a full draft. It's called Death Interrupted. And then hopefully we'll be shooting next year.
It's very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yes. How long have you been writing? And you also do a lot of acting, writing, directing, everything.
I started writing in 2014 when I first moved out here, because I started UCB as soon as I moved out here. Then I did Groundlings, and
UCB is an improv studio in LA. For anyone who doesn't know that, that's like Amy Poehler, and
she started it. She was like a OG founding member.
Yeah.
And then I went over to Groundlings, and then I started writing my own web series, and then I did a comedic rap with Carrot Top, and then I did just randomly. And then I just started writing features, and I really dove in like headfirst long form because I was writing sketches for forever, but over COVID. Yeah. That's when I took like classes. I was in a Meisner conservatory. I had a great time during COVID. I was like, I'm going to do as much as I possibly can. I was in the best shape of my life. It was. And then real life started again. And I was like, oh, I can't. I feel like that's how I would like to live when I'm like older, is just doing whatever the heck I want and not worrying about anything.
You know, that, like I said, I think that's how a lot of people live, is they just do whatever the heck they want. They do their jobs and they do whatever the heck they want. But like as an artist, it's like we have to go find different ways to make money so that we can do what we want, making money. Hopefully one day.
Yeah. I think we might just like be mentally ill.
Probably. I think there probably is something in our brains that is just a little bit off.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're good friends.
Yeah. I started writing more long form film stuff around COVID too, because most of my writing growing up, I was writing a book series. It was like I read Harry Potter and I was like, oh, I want to write. And so I spent a lot of my free time in middle school, like finishing homework.
What is like a book that you remember writing?
Well, I wrote a book in 6th grade that was 99 handwritten notebook pages. And it was sort of about this dream world where when you dream, you actually are seeing into this world that exists. It's like another dimension that's like alongside ours. And so that follows these characters who get physically like pulled into this other world, and they're sort of like back and forth. That's and it's fun. Sort of like, how do we stop this? What is going on? How do we not die? Because now when your dreams are real and they're around you, you can be murdered at any moment.
Oh, and will you be murdered in the real world, or do you wake up?
I mean, they don't exactly know, but they sort of assume like, oh, we're here in this world. I would assume if we get eaten by that T-Rex, that we're dead. Yeah, it's a little Narnia. But they would also like, their dreams are connected. So they would like go to bed at night and they would dream of this horrible situation happening. And then they wake up and they're like, thank God that's a dream. And then they're at school and all of a sudden they're like, psh, now they're thrust into this dream and they're like, we should not go over to that cave because there's a monster that's going to eat us. Let's go run over there instead into the woods. But then you don't know what's in the woods. It could be worse.
It could be.
So it's like, that's
life.
Right? Anyway, I wrote it when I was very young. And then I spent a lot of my high school
high concept.
It was, but the way I wrote when I was 12, because I, you go back and you read these things sometime and you're like, there was no character development. It was just sort of like,
I mean, you were 12.
I was 12, but it was very much like,
you're like, I have notes.
I have notes for my 12-year-old self.
Character development,
like, okay,
not funded.
Like, it's like they do this and then they went and did this and then this thing happened and then the next day. And it was like, oh, wow, it's just sort of like bullet pointing the stuff that happens.
You're unlocking a core memory right now that I think I have forgotten and locked away. My 3rd grade teacher was like, we should all write books. So I wrote a book and I had just seen Men in Black.
Okay.
And I wrote this whole story about this cat that had a little thing, a little collar that had like the world, because that's actually in a plot point in Men in Black.
Yeah.
And I was like, I created this. And then he sat me down and he was like, Danielle, have you seen Men in Black? I said, what? Yeah, I watched it recently. He goes, okay, this is Men in Black. And I was like, no, it's actually really different because the cat is a different color.
Yeah.
So
it's my own version of what I saw.
Yeah, it's my interpretation of the exact same plot point.
I wrote an entire chapter in my book. That was
you had chapters.
Oh, yeah. Oh. This was a legit book, Danielle.
I need to see it. It's 99 pages.
Well, the original is 99 pages, but then I throughout high school into college, I actually rewrote it and it ended up being like around 700-800 pages. It's a very big, long book. It's one of 3 parts. Like I have started writing the second book. I have it all planned out. And then during COVID, I morphed it into two different 3-part, 2 different trilogies that are like connected. It's a whole thing. One day I'll go back and I'll finish my book series. Much better. It's much better. Actually, I did book clubs. I've had people read it. And people sometimes reach out to me. They're like, when are you going to publish that book? I need to know what happens.
That's a great sign.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm a good writer. But I was like, around COVID, I was like, okay, I should write some film stuff. So I shifted from book writing to film writing. And I wrote a couple screenplays. And this is sort of like the first thing that I'm really diving into because I really believe in the project. I believe in the message, and I think drag queens are awesome. And I wanted to give a little bit of a platform to what I'm doing for that. So this is the first of hopefully many projects to come. And yeah, writing is hard though.
Writing is very hard, especially rewriting. To me, I have a very rigid process on how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm about to go into draft 4 of my feature, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But it's exciting.
It is. And I have this problem where I will write and rewrite until the end of time. And you know, even like with Snatched, I think this is technically like draft 6 or 7. But like eventually sometime I need to stop writing because we're going to film this thing.
Yeah. And then you could be changing it on set, which I don't recommend, but or I've also seen, I'm not even going to go there. Draft 6 is perfect.
Oh, if you have notes.
I don't have notes. I'm saying what I was going to say.
It's okay if you have notes. I have notes for myself.
What I was going to say is that I have seen people shoot really bad shorts, and then in editing, it's like they figure it out. But then I didn't want to say that because then it makes it sound like I think that this is going to be bad. And that's not what I was trying to say. So that's why I cut it off.
Yeah, you have confidence that the script is good.
Yeah.
That it doesn't need to be fixed in post.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. What are your holiday plans, Danielle?
For Christmas, my husband and I go to Arizona. So I'm actually pretty excited. We're going to take a cookie decorating class.
Ooh.
I don't know what the heck we need a class for that, but I think it's more like an activity. Like we all go. And we're doing.
They'll probably teach you like some techniques of how to ice cookies
which
to
I
make
need.
them look good.
Yeah, I am terrible at that stuff. And then we're taking a. We usually do like a restaurant tour of Tucson, which is really fun. And then Christmas. And then we're also this year, which is very exciting, we're going stargazing.
I love stargazing. Is this like way out in the deserts you're going?
We're going up to Kitt Peak. It's like a observatory. So it's going to be at like
so nice.
2 a.m. It'll be really nice.
One of my favorite things to do when I go home to Minnesota is just to look at the stars because Minnesota is very flat and very deserted. There's a lot of, trees and lakes.
I know nothing about Minnesota.
Come visit sometime.
When you're like, picture Minnesota, I can't.
It's a very flat state, and there's really it's a little town of a few thousand people, maybe, and then it's about 10 to 20 miles of either trees or farmland or lakes in between that town and any other town in any other direction.
That sounds pretty.
Outside of the Minneapolis, like Twin Cities area, which is city and suburb, but I grew up 6 hours north of there. So from Minneapolis to where we are, it's 6 hours of just land. Yeah.
Wow. It's like rare these days for there just to be land.
If you're in the city, yeah, but I think a lot of the country actually does have a lot of like land and suburbs. It's very
Arizona
normal.
Is just like they are building.
Desert. It's a little different.
Well, they're also like building like crazy. Like you used to be able to drive from Tucson to Phoenix with like nothing.
And now it's suburb everywhere.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Blowing up. Arizona. Place to be, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going back to Minnesota for the holidays. I'll have a little white winter.
Yeah. Tell me about your plans.
Yeah, no, I mean, I always go home for Christmas, and I usually go home before my birthday. So I'll celebrate my birthday at home, and me and my sisters and my mom.
And your nephew.
So I mean, I have 8 nieces and nephews, 4 siblings. So we have a big family, but for my like birthday tradition the last couple of years, we've been going to this spa up in Canada, and anybody who's heard me on any podcast lately hears me talk about my favorite spa, which is in Winnipeg. It's called Thermea, and it is awesome.
What makes it so nice?
They have this really big sauna that you go into, and they do these I guess like a ritual every hour. I think it's every hour on the hour, where they have these scent infused snowballs. Infused with like essential oils, I think, and so they'll have them. They smell like coffee or clove or eucalyptus or orange, and you just sit in the sauna, and someone comes in and they play some music, and they put these snowballs on the hot rocks so they start to melt, and then they do this sort of like dance where they flick this towel around and it blows the air around the sauna, so you're like in there and you're sweating, and then you get this like hot air draft of like orange peel, and they usually do like 2 different scents.
This sounds incredible.
And it's like a 10 to 15 minute like ritual. And then you leave and you do a cold plunge if you want. And they have like a big warm, like hot tub pool area, and then like a hot tub area. And then there's like a salt scrub and like different saunas.
This sounds amazing.
It is the best. And so it's been kind of
you should get sponsored by
yearly.
them.
I should. Yeah. I should reach out and say, I'm promoting you on every podcast.
Literally.
I talk on.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's like my little relaxing getaway.
Sponsored by this spa.
Snatched, sponsored by Thermea.
It works.
Yeah.
People love branded content these days.
We'll send this to them. Everybody, all 16 people listening to the podcast, reach out to Thermea and say, hey, I heard about you on this podcast. You should pay them money.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I can.
I mean, Canada might do it. They're nice.
They're
so nice up there. We love them. Okay, so yeah, that's coming up, and then the new year, and then we're gonna do some rehearsals in January.
Amazing.
Because I want to get you and Cameron together.
Yeah.
And do a little read, and we shoot at the end of January. And this is like the craziest, most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. I did a Kickstarter campaign for a web series back in like 2014. It was a web series about a zombie teddy bear called The Walking Ted, and it was the first thing I ever did.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud. Not knowing what I was doing, really going into that.
Isn't that great when you look back and you're like,
yeah, I'm looking back and I'm like the first shot of me in the zombie teddy bear costume, you can like clearly see a very hard makeup line on my neck where like our makeup person, who was like a college student that we were paying almost nothing. But like we just like we didn't cover all of the basics, but it was like a bunch of friends getting together making something, and it was fun. And honestly, I'm still pretty proud of that project, despite some of those like.
I want to see it. I haven't seen it.
It's 8 episodes and they're like 8 minutes each, so you can watch all of it in about an hour.
I would love to watch that.
It's ridiculous.
I do love that, and I miss that vibe when you're just like freshly in LA, and then you're like, hey, do you want to get together? I'm gonna order pizza. Let's make stuff. And then there's that energy where everyone's like, I want to make stuff. And then as you get a little jaded and sad as the years go by in Los Angeles, but I think indie filmmaking at its core is just people loving to play make believe. It's true. And I love that energy.
Yeah, I think earlier I'd mentioned sort of, you move here, you're young, and you have this naive dream of like, it's going to work out, everything will be amazing. Yeah. And so you just jump into any project. You're like, I'll work for free. Let's just write a script and shoot it this weekend. And there is a lot of that energy, I think, in the early days. Yeah. But 10 years in, it's
people like, my day rate's $5,000.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm tired. Life is hard. What's the point anymore? So this is the point. This is the point. And so this is a little, like I said, this is a little bit what I'm trying to recapture is that like, I know so many talented people and, we're going to try not to work for free or ask people to work for free. We still want to pay people, but what can we do with our resources and with the talented people we know? So Snatched is the first of many projects I want to do. Maybe further down if, as we continue this pod, I had, once we get through Snatched, once we get through filming and into pre-production, I'll introduce you guys to some of the other people on the team and like what goes into making a movie other than actors and, a writer and a director. I want to talk to some other, people behind the scenes and help give people a little bit of a window into what that process is like. But, we're still in the fundraising process. We've got, I think, around $5,000 on Seed and Spark. We also have some investors sort of like behind the scenes because the ultimate, like this movie is going to cost probably between $30,000 and $40,000. So we are doing a little bit of like larger fund sourcing behind the scenes. But the Seed and Spark is sort of like our friends and family way for you guys to support us. So we're looking at getting $14,000 through Seed and Spark by December 26th. And so if you're listening to this and you want to, send me a little early birthday gift, I would love for you to give like $5, $10. Yeah. It really makes a difference.
Everything makes a difference, just $5, $10, $15.
Yeah. If there's 20 people listening to this that are like, I can't give you $50, but I can give you $5 and skip buying a coffee today. That's, that's $100. It adds up. Yeah. And if you can't give, that's okay. If you have other charities that you give or support to, that's great too.
But if you share it, that would be great.
Yeah, share it. Leave a comment.
Yeah.
Send me some love because like sometimes it's a really hard day and you're like, I can't do this, and someone reaches out and they message you and be like, oh, your project looks so great, I can't wait to see it. like that's also great too. I love hearing
like,
from people.
You're like dying inside, and then you see it, and
it's like a cup
revived.
of coffee.
Yeah.
When you're tired, it wakes you up.
Because I think the whole point is to make art that inspires and touches people. So even if you can't like give actual money or share or whatever, if someone is like, hey, I'm a fan of what you're doing from afar, and you're like, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
exactly.
You. Yeah, thank you.
And then I'm starting this Patreon, so pretty much all the content is going to be free, but maybe if you are someone who has extra money and you want to support what I'm doing, that's $3 a month. You can we'll do some bonus podcasts for our subscribers, and I want to start doing some fun interactive either game nights or like Q&A live call-in shows. Eventually next year. I have some other ideas. I'm going to save some of that stuff for maybe a future pod of like some of my plans for what's Farm to Film doing outside of Snatched in the future. I have ideas, but maybe someone's going to see this movie and want to pay me a lot of money to make a feature. That's part of the goal. I think ultimately we are going to be submitting this to film festivals. And because of that, we can't actually put the movie online publicly and then also be trying to submit to festivals. So you actually will not be able to watch this movie publicly for a while unless you pay it's $15 to get the advanced sort of like screening of the film. So if you want to see Snatched at some point down the road, you got to get it on the Seed and Spark now. Otherwise, maybe I'll have some rewards on the Patreon down the road once we actually release it. You can maybe just buy it on the Patreon. But yeah, it's sort of like prepay for your ticket now. $15, you can see the movie.
Get in on the ground floor.
Get in on the ground floor. And then, we'll be sharing some behind the scenes throughout this whole process. And if you guys have questions or ideas of things you want me to do, send that in. And yeah, I want this to be very community driven, just like it was on the farm. We've gone from farm to film, but we want to keep that sort of heart and that small town vibe going. So you guys, if you're listening to this, you're part of this, you're part of our community. So I want to hear from you. If you have thoughts, if you have notes, if you have questions, send them in. Danielle, anything else? Do you want to plug anything? Where can people keep up with you?
They can Instagram. Danielle Dallas. DANIELLE-DALLAS.
Great. I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah. I'm excited, and I'm not saying this just because you're here, but if you guys know, Derek had a birthday party last year, and it was a themed Squid Game.
Yeah. Situation. It was the second annual Squid Game birthday party.
And that was the most well-organized thing I have ever been to in my life. So I am very confident that this film is going to go very well. And we just need your guys' support, because if you were at that party, I was like, this is insane. It was incredible. And so that's the kind of brain that you need to be able to do what you're doing. So
yeah, I love hosting game nights. I love unique experiences. I sort of feel like life is too short not to like try to take advantage of weird and unique moments and situations. And so I try to, like create fun memories. And that, maybe a little teaser. I do have a game show idea I want to do next year. You've played my murder mystery game before, right? Or you know of it?
No, I know of it. I know of it, but I haven't.
I've designed a few different game concepts. I love game design. I love social games, Survivor. Obviously I work for a Survivor podcast at RHAP. So if you're someone who watches like Survivor, Big Brother, The Amazing Race, The Challenge, The Traitors is coming up in January. If you like shows like that, I work for a podcast network that does coverage of those shows, and they talk about it like it's ESPN sports, and people get really into the strategy and the predicting what's going to happen. And so if you like that kind of content and you've never heard of the podcast, check it out. It's cool. I do some behind the scenes podcasting there. But yeah, I love making games, and one of my bucket list items I want to do is create a game show. I
think you can do it.
Yeah, stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for more on Snatched. And thank you guys all for listening, and hope you have a great holiday, and maybe I'll see you at my birthday party. All right.
Thank you guys.
Bye.